The Wrangler is absolutely by far and away the halo vehicle of the Jeep brand.
Since the year started, automobile manufacturers have been dealing with supply chain issues. This has subsequently led to a reduction in the available inventory, and as a result, unscrupulous dealerships have been able to set ridiculously high markups on these automobiles. Even while there is a turn of incentives and discounts on these cars, cash-hungry dealers are squeezing everything out of these sales. The problem has become so severe that some automakers have been forced to intervene to stop this. However, the problem still persists. After Toyota and Ford solved the same issues a while back, Jeep has found itself in the same position. But why are dealers jacking up the prices? You would be forgiven for thinking that an imported sports car of some sort or an innovative electric vehicle from China would be the most marked up vehicle on sale. But according to a new study from CarEdge, it is the iconic American brand that is receiving the short end of the stick today. The costs of automobiles have reached an all-time high, either due to dealer markups or the problem caused by a lack of available microchips, as it had disrupted supply chains and forced production to stop temporarily. As a result, there is a high demand for cars since we are seeing a decreased number in the dealer lots, or the dealers are hiding vehicles to make it appear like there is some shortage. Would they though? These dealerships are using the market adjustments as a justification for increased markups, but it has nothing to do with that. CarEdge investigated new automobile listings in the United States and discovered that the typical dealer markup is 20% more than the manufacturer's suggested retail price. However, the markup is substantially larger for certain models that are in high demand because of their popularity. This includes Jeep's Wrangler, which is a smaller off-road SUV model. It has the country's largest dealer markup on average at 26.7%, making it the most expensive in the country. Over the last several years, Jeep's sales numbers have decreased, the number of days supply on lots has increased compared to other companies in the sector, and brand loyalty has decreased. The Jeep brand is well known and has its own cult following, replete with its trademark owner wave because of its historical importance as a vehicle that helped win the war. Its flagship model, the Wrangler, and its stunning Grand Cherokee are both examples of this. The year 2018 was Jeep's highest year ever in terms of total car sales, with the brand moving more than 973,200 units. Since then, the company has not had very much success, as seen by the fact that it only sold 684,600 automobiles in 2022, a loss of about 30%, and over the past few quarters, there has been a consistent drop in sales. The transition to electric power has been challenging for the company, but they hope to build a new customer base due to the change. While Jeep's competitors are running leaner operations and purposefully maintaining lower supply levels at dealerships, Jeep has a significantly larger inventory of vehicles available for sale at any given time. However, this number may not always be a cause for concern, depending on how popular a car is or how an automaker has dealt with supply problems in the past. According to Cox Automotive, Jeep had a supply of 77 days at the end of June. This number is significantly higher than the national average of 53 days. Ford isn't too far behind, sitting at roughly 76 days of supply. But General Motors, GMC, and Chevrolet brands languished at 63 and 50 days supply during the same period. In the meantime, Toyota with a total of 27 days, Hyundai with a total of 49 days, and Honda with a total of 28 days were significantly lower. According to Cox, Jeep offered some of its competitors' largest incentives towards the end of the second quarter, which amounted to almost $3,294 per vehicle. Due to the increasingly rigorous emissions rules in 14 states, Stellantis has also discounted allocating gas-powered models of some of the most popular Jeeps. It's possible that this will cause customers to search elsewhere. But what happens if you're a Jeep customer and you don't want a plug-in hybrid but want a Wrangler and they don't have that on the lot? Some customers have switched to Ford and Chevy. Consumer behaviours have drastically changed as the corporation spends more than $35 billion to electrify its products over the next few years. The carmaker is minimally attempting to tap into the historic Jeep tail it has while gearing up for the future. This can be seen throughout the company, from the Recon to the Wagoneer S and more. Historically speaking, this has been their vehicle's strongest suit, the fact that they are emotionally charged. However, it doesn't work nearly as well as it used to, especially with an aged product section. This is due to the fact that consumers are currently experiencing financial stress and difficulties. Jeeps have had the worst sales performance of any new car model in almost 10 different states. Arizona, California, Connecticut, Idaho, Illinois, Kansas, North Dakota, South Carolina, and Virginia have seen a sharp decline in sales for the past few months. In Arizona, for example, on average, selling a Jeep Cherokee there takes 107 days. In addition, the average amount of time needed to sell a Jeep Grand Cherokee in Idaho is 79 days. These two automobiles have the lowest sales rates in all states. However, this does not make Jeep the brand with the lowest sales rate across the country. Fiat holds the record for the brand with the fewest sales in the United States. They haven't even sold 20,000 vehicles this year. In contrast, Jeep has shipped over 100,000 of its models. However, this does not mean they sell like hotcakes at the dealership. In fact, a certain Jeep model is having more trouble selling in several states than any other car model in the history of the automotive industry. The Jeep Compass has the sad distinction of being the vehicle that has the slowest sales rate in most states. Consumer Reports do not even recommend the Jeep Compass. The 6 states of California, Connecticut, Illinois, New Jersey, South Carolina, and Virginia are the states in which Jeep Compass models have difficulty competing with other vehicles. At its peak, California saw an average of 113 days for selling a Jeep Compass. When things are at their worst, it takes 301 days for a Compass to be sold in South Carolina. Now, I would like to believe that this is happening because people are moving to more environmentally friendly models, but even the hybrids are not doing any better, which leaves us with high price markups. This may be the most ignored reason dealers are not moving shipments quickly, mainly because the manufacturer does not concentrate on what most dealers do. However, Jeep seems in real trouble if it does not resolve the markup issues. One of the factors why dealerships are getting greedy is the brand loyalty consumers often place in well-established brands. Unfortunately, this loyalty can inadvertently lead consumers to overlook competitive pricing and rely on the assumption that their favoured brand always offers the best value. Dealerships, acutely aware of this consumer sentiment, can leverage brand loyalty to justify markups on vehicle prices. The assumption that a higher price tag equates to superior quality or exclusivity can be misleading, as it fails to consider the broader market dynamics. Furthermore, the scarcity of popular models, or rather the illusion of scarcity, provides dealerships with the perfect opportunity to mark up prices. Research from Edmunds reveals that consumers are often willing to pay a premium for in-demand vehicles, driven by the desire to secure their preferred brand and model. Dealerships can capitalize on this urgency by inflating prices, banking on the fact that loyal customers might be more willing to accept the higher cost due to their attachment to the brand. In the context of Jeep, renowned for its adventurous spirit and go-anywhere attitude, dealerships may exploit consumers' emotional connection with the brand. The allure of owning a Jeep, synonymous with freedom and exploration, can cloud judgment and make consumers more susceptible to paying a premium. It's important that you remain vigilant and make informed decisions when purchasing vehicles. While brand loyalty can be a powerful motivator, it's equally essential to research and compare prices across different dealerships and models. Independent price comparisons utilizing resources can provide valuable insights into fair market values, enabling you to make rational choices without emotional influence. However, due to the fact that we are currently in a seller's market, it can be difficult to avoid paying the markups that dealers impose on their prices, particularly for popular models such as the Jeep Wrangler, Ford Maverick, and Ford Bronco. One choice is to hold out and see if there's a cost reduction. On the other hand, production halts and problems with the supply chain will likely persist for the foreseeable future, which means that you might have to wait a very long time. That's all from this video. What do you think is happening with Jeep vehicles? See you in the next video.